Mr. President, my recommendation is that the board approve releasing independent report regarding carrier property.
Mr. President.
Mr. Hall.
I'm going to move that the board waive the attorney-client privilege as to the letter report from Lynn Rossi Scott dated May 25th, 2018, and release that report to the public.
I have a motion by Mr. Hall, a second by Mr. Espinosa. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to make a few
Mr.
comments.
Pryor.
Just to review, the district buys a piece of property. We decide to, we're going to buy a piece of property for future use. At some point, a decision is made to lease it to the superintendent. However, the report still doesn't tell us who is responsible for that decision. We pay what we think is a fair price for the house, only to find out that we need $100,000 in renovations to make it habitable. At no point was the board, the full board, aware that those renovations were taking place. I believe it was clearly a conflict of interest when the superintendent is spending taxpayer money on what's going to be her residence without board knowledge or approval. But clearly that opinion puts me on the minority in this board. In mid-February, this draft was delivered to the district's in-house counsel. I had concerns at that point because when we announced the investigation last June, we had said we would retain an outside attorney to create a report for the board. A few days after the report is sent to me and Mr. Dyer, a meeting is called to discuss board roles and protocols. At that meeting, I was asked if I had received a copy. I answered yes. And then issues arose. In that meeting, I was asked to sign what I've taken to calling a loyalty oath, where I would agree to turn over all my notes on this investigation, to not talk to the media, to pledge my loyalty to this district and this administration. When I refused to sign it, we came out and that conversation boiled into from closed session into open session, where I was removed as board president. As I said at that point, people talk to me in confidence about issues with the district. Those issues have been reflected in this report. I was never going to sign that loyalty oath that you guys asked me to sign. And I was branded as not a team player. I will tell you this, I am a team player, I'm team taxpayer. I'm team accountability. We are trustees. We hold these seats in trust for the taxpayers. If we're not doing our job of oversight, we are not doing our job as trustees. Every dollar needs to be going towards student achievement. If it's not going towards student achievement, we're doing our students a disservice. If we're mishandling taxpayer dollars, if we've got purchasing requirements that aren't being followed, I believe we are mishandling taxpayer dollars and not doing what is right for our community. At least 2 trustees on this board have voted against paying our bills for this investigation because I assume they don't like the results or they think it's gone on too long. The reason it's gone on this long, Mr. Hall mentioned that we're going to release this part of the report. The actual report that we received in February was almost 40 pages long with 800 pages of exhibits. What we are waiving is 10 pages that this board is going to tell you is enough. They think that that's what the community will be happy with. I believe we should release the full report. But again, I'm in the minority on that. I believe this is a classic catch-22 situation. If these issues aren't a big deal, release the full report. Be transparent with our taxpayers. If it is a big deal, why are we not making a bigger deal of an action plan to correct these issues? This board clearly doesn't want to talk about the purchasing issues. It's barely mentioned in this letter that you guys just handed us. First time I've seen this was after this meeting started. We're about to vote on releasing this heavily redacted report. I'm going to vote no because I believe this community deserves to see the full report. This is taxpayer money. It's taxpayer money that was spent on this investigation. I think it's a shame that we're only releasing 10 pages of the report. And I'll close with a statement directed to our taxpayers. I believe the majority of this board clearly isn't interested in being transparent with you. Your decision is, do you want to hold us accountable for that? Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, I will have a motion, remind me, by Mr. Hall and a second by Mr. Espinosa. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
No.
Motion passes 5-2. I have a statement that I'd like to read. The school board extends its gratitude to Lynn Rossi Scott, an attorney with Brackett and Ellis, for the in-depth review and for providing a very thorough and insightful report regarding certain purchases of the Grand Prairie Independent School District. We are very pleased this report confirms we have an excellent staff that is focused on what's best for the district and our students. We accept the findings in this report. After consultation with Ms. Scott, have agreed to release it to the public. We agree that our board policy should be updated to improve the clarity of policy intent and to give, and to give clear guidance on its implementation. The board will ask the superintendent to work with the developers of Skyward, the district's financial management system, to put additional controls and features into place as recommended in the report to ensure employees are notified automatically when the expenditure limits are reached. We agree with the recommendation that the board should approve all guaranteed maximum price amendments regardless of the amount, and that the district should adjust its process to establish that payments will be based on pay applications and not invoices. This report is an excellent resource, and as we continue to improve district operations. We are proud to have one of the best superintendents in Texas at the helm of this Grand Prairie Independent School District, and she will do an outstanding job in helping to implement these recommendations. It is now 5:13. The board stands adjourned.